All right, guys, so I just realized I wasn't even recording. So I'm just covering up what I have, and we're just gonna kind of talk through what I've got, and I'm gonna draw this out and kind of show you. So it says Jeffrey wants to make one planter that extends from the ground just below his back window. The window starts 3 feet off the ground. If he wants the planter to hold 36 cubic feet, which is what I have right here, I wrote this out, what is one way that he could build the planter so it is not taller than 3 feet? So what I did was I built his planter, and I made it just 3 feet tall. Okay, I know that he doesn't want it anything taller, but 3 feet tall would just kind of be one way that we could do it. We could make it shorter, but I just kind of decided let's do that 3 feet. So to be able to figure out what the area of my length and my width would be, I took my 36 cubic feet, I took 36 divided by 3, and I got 12. Okay, so here is my planter, and I know that my height's going to be 3 feet, but I also know that my the width and the length is going to have to equal that 12 feet. Okay, and so there's a couple of different ways I could do this, and what I decided was I was like, well, I could do 4 feet by 3 feet because I know that 4 times 3 is going to give me 12. And so I could also have 6 feet by 2 feet. I could have 12 feet by 1 feet. So there's a couple of different ways that he could make that planter as long as it equals up to that 36 cubic feet, but it does not extend any taller than 2 feet or 3 feet. Okay, I could also make the planter 2 feet tall, and that would kind of change what my area would be. But it would be something that I could do to have that as my planter option. Okay. This next one, it says, after all of the gardening work, Jeffrey decides that he needs a new shed to replace his old one. His current one is 6 feet long by 5 feet wide by 8 feet high, and he realizes that he needs 480 cubic feet. This is what he needs. So on letter A, it says, will he achieve his goal if he doubles his dimensions? So basically what I did was I took my 6 feet and I doubled it to get 12 feet. I took my 5 feet and I doubled it to get 10 feet. And I took my 8 feet and doubled it and got 16 feet. So here are my dimensions of the new shed if I just doubled it. Made it longer, made it 2 times higher, and made it 2 times wider. Okay, so I went ahead, did the math. I multiplied these two, got 120. Then I took 120 times 16. And what I ended up getting was 1,920 feet cubed. So would he achieve his goal? It's kind of a yes and a no question. No, he wouldn't achieve it because he would have almost triple what he would really want. Okay, he has way more than what he would have, but if he's really set that this is what he needs and this is what he wants, then no, he wouldn't, because his shed would be a lot bigger. Now, sometimes you might think, well, maybe you want more of that space. Possibly you do, but it just depends on whether or not he truly wants that space. Okay. So then on letter B, it says if he wants to keep the height the same. So here's the height of his shed. Okay, it's 8 feet high. What's another dimensions that he could get to this 480 feet? Okay, so remember I can take 480 and I can go ahead and divide it by 8 because I know that my height is 8 and this is going to give me my area, which would be my length times my width. So I know that 8 goes into 48 6 times. Okay, so I know that my area here needs to be 60. Now I know some of you guys are like, well, I could just do like 6 feet by 10 feet. I could do, let's see, 30 times 2 feet, which you don't want to do that because you don't want your shed to only be 2 feet wide, 24 inches. It wouldn't be very wide. So you kind of want to think of something that would be realistic. And so what I would probably do is, honestly, I would probably do that we would maybe have a 10-foot long shed and a 6-foot wide shed. I think that would be pretty good. Okay. So then this says, if he uses the dimensions in part B, what would the area of his new shed be? Well, we already know that area is length times width. And when I put this in here, my area is 10 feet times 6 feet. And I get 60 feet squared would be the area of the new shed floor.